Okay. Hi, Oats Eric here. Oats Taylor, Arch Admin Susie, How, Carolyn, Bird with Circle, Blanky, Changerall. That's Audra's Bird with Circle. And they're all here. That's Hadra. And they're all ready to rock and roll. So, we're talking about how ENFPs sometimes, or INFPs maybe too, I don't know, but I experienced one time I typed this ENFP at a party he was hosting. It was a anti-capitalism party at which they used their laser woodcutter to cut out of circles of wood symbols of anti-capitalism. Where they got this laser woodcutter, from which communist utopia, I'm not sure, but regardless, absurd though it was, homeboy there, as I was typing him and I said he was an ENFP in no uncertain terms, he he's like, yeah, people tell me that, but I mean, I used to be so sure I was a thinker, and I started asking him about his positions, and I'd like push on him. He'd be like, "Wow, that's complicated." And, well, like not wanting to have his answers be TI sound, and he wasn't nearly where Howe is because he didn't understand the mechanics of the cognitive functions at all. He was stuck with this irreconcilable contradiction that he did not understand, could not process, could not explain because he felt for sure that he was right and sound in his argumentation and did not understand that it required to be right and sound that it passed a TI metric, regardless of whether he felt positively about it or not. Thizots.
Cool story.
Well, I mean, I think it's much less likely for a TI type to mistake themselves as FI than it is for an FI type to mistake themselves as TI. Why would that be the case? Why would it be more likely for a TE type to mistake themselves as TI than a TI type to mistake themselves as TE, which I think is also the case? Is it because the descriptors of the things are more flattering to intuitives with deliberative shit because we're the ones who write most of that shit?
I
Or
think in this specific case, it's that the person you were talking about, he doesn't understand the difference between TE and TI. So perhaps he sees himself as competent in doing in understanding and working with external logic, so how things in the world works and how to do things. And he's been identifying that with himself.
that's a sensible enough
Um,
explanation.
I can see like ENTP mistaking themselves as a F as an ENFP. I've actually I think I've met a couple who thought they were ENFPs because how much they care about. Well,
I
they
think
have a
it's the
lot of
other way.
friends. They do well in social situations, and a lot of the descriptions for ENFP. That's exactly what it is, right? External observations of behavior.
What do you mean? I think that's Chris who asked the question. Doesn't that just describe the religious logic of all people? What describes it?
Sorry,
FI.
I'm lagging right now.
Um,
Or SI.
I would say no. I don't think FI is it has anything to do with religious logic at all. Religious logic isn't logic. Obviously, it's the alternative to logic. It's the completion of the negative space around logic. I mean, it's definitionally magical thinking, and one incorporates magical thinking into one's overall framework in any number of different possible ways. The thing is, it's a mistake to be so framework dependent that you fail to recognize that magical thinking is itself an independent metric that has its own rules. of sorts and its own purpose, and so it's to be subsumed in a larger framework, not to be rejected as the alternative to your existing framework. In my opinion, which is correct.
I think I think that the religious kind of worldview, for lack of a better phrase, that you shouldn't question things, or it's a lack of faith, that you shouldn't apply critical thinking to this area, or else it's bad, is one of its bigger abuses.
I mean, I think the limitation of discourse, whether it be internal or external, in order to preserve sacred wrongnesses, is always bad and terrible. That's why I express my religious faith in a non wrongness incurring fashion.
Right. Um, I mean, religious leaders and drug dealers are the only two people who want you who try to sell something based on don't think about it, just do it, and it'll make you happy. Look how much fun we're all having.
Now, look, the central message of the archpastor of Yalorianism may boil down to that eventually, but it's a lot more complicated on the way there, okay? I want you to
It
understand.
only boils down to that if you can't figure out what the fuck you're being told.
Right. And, or can't figure out the negative space around what you're being told and what that would infer naturally. Some things can't be looked at directly.
Like me, in all my majesty.
Well, sure, I mean, that's why the body conduit exists in part is to prevent all the rest of us from being continually blown by the brilliance of his glow. Inside of the body conduit there, the glow of Yalor is like a million billion suns exploding in your face instantly. It'll make you go blind. Same as getting your eyes gouged out by forks.
Which we promise not to do.
No, that doesn't happen. That's no, that's not the way the Aurorian brightness works. It's not a brightness, a luminescence expressed in forks. It's measured in a different unit. It's measured in sporks.
I've never seen anyone so consistently.
So,
It's impressive.
so consistently what?
Eating food.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, you
as Chris down there?
right.
Well,
Like I
he's.
think he's 100.
You are obviously in training for something. Perhaps a bicycle race. Perhaps weightlifting contest.
He might just be hungry, or he could be stoned. Also, I guess while we're off topic, I'm gonna just throw out. I don't know if you've seen Ken's new profile picture on Facebook, but it's very Edward from Twilight.
Is it?
Looking hot, Ken. Just a hungry, hungry dude. Don't need all my marbles.
Hungry for your soul. That's what it looks like. That is pretty funny.
God, Facebook, why do you have to be so slow? Oh, Facebook. Somebody has messaged me a message. Boss man. That's me, apparently. Hello. I'ma say hello. That'll take him by surprise.